How's it going, everyone, and welcome to Dex Prime. I'm Dividable, and today we'll be going through an in-depth dive of all the known Pokemon based on their Pokédex entries. We'll be covering everything from the in-game Dex entries, where they originated, the Pokemon statistics, current popular moves, builds, abilities, and weaknesses, to notable appearances within the anime, manga, and how to acquire them in different games, as well as the TCG cards and rare collectibles. I hope you're as fired up as I am, because it's time to finally discuss the number one dragon. This is Dex entry number 6, Charizard. Charizard is the final evolution of Charmander, typically found in mountainous regions and valleys. It's a draconic reptilian bipedal Pokemon. It has a burly body with a set of wings that allows it to fly, a very long neck, 2 short arms, and thick, strong legs, each having a set of 3 sharp claws. It also has a long and heavy tail that produces a large flame that burns extraordinarily hot and bright. Its head is rectangular in shape, its eyes are bright blue, and it has 2 horns protruding from the top and 2 small nostrils at the end of its mouth. Charizard has a bright yellow underside that starts at the stomach and travels along the bottom side of its tail. Its scales are bright orange color, while its inside of the wings are bluish green. Charizard evolves from Charmeleon at level 36, who evolves from Charmander at level 16. Charizard is one of the 2 Pokemon with 2 Mega Evolution forms, Mewtwo being the other. The form you get is determined by the Mega Stone it holds. To get Mega Charizard X, you need to hold a Charizardite X, while of course Mega Charizard Y, you need to be holding a Charizardite Y. Mega Charizard X shares very similar characteristics with a standard Charizard, but has some very distinct alterations. First and most noticeably is the color. Instead of an orange with a bright yellow underside, Mega X's scales turn into a deep black with a blue undertone, which is applied to its wings and stomach outlining, but also the flame on its tail. Charizard also starts spewing large bright blue flames out the side of its mouth. Its eyes become a bright red and the horns grow in size with blue tips. The claws on its hand and feet grow in size and become sharper as well, and it also grows 2 blue spikes on each shoulder. Its wings merge to cover an entirety of its back, and while Charizard flies, it looks and moves more like a speeding jet than a dragon soaring through the sky. Mega Charizard Y is the opposite when compared to X. It shares Charizard's normal coloring, but has many more physical changes. For example, its wings grow in size to cover more of its body entirely. A giant horn has grown on the back of its head. The tail has 3 spines near the tip of it, and its flame has become much larger. The claws, like X, also becomes larger and sharper, but the arms also have a razor-like wing attached to each of them. Charizard has possibly one of the coolest shiny variants, and is possibly what inspired its looks on its Mega variants. Starting with its cream-colored underside, its bright orange scales are instead a more dark and brooding black, while its inner portion of its wings become blood red, along with its eyes. The Mega evolutions seem to focus on a brighter side. Mega Charizard X's scales are given a comfortable green, with the underside getting a brighter shade. Its wings also become bright red alongside the tip of its horns, and its spikes on its shoulders. Mega Charizard Y also has an interesting look about it. The underbelly shares the same cream color as the original shiny Charizard. However, instead of black, its scales take on a bright purple color. The wings also take a much brighter red along with its eyes. Before Mega Charizard X, we were actually given a hint to the possibility that Charizard is capable of producing blue flames. It's stated in Pokemon Gold's Pokédex entry that if Charizard becomes furious, the flame at the tip of its tail flares up in a white-bluish color. It'd be interesting to know if this was a hint to the future Mega evolutions, or just a rare occurrence for some Charizards. Regardless, it is a well-established fact that the flames can produce are extremely hot. The Dex entry from Pokemon Sword tells us that it spits fire that is hot enough to melt boulders. It may cause a forest fire by blowing flames. Truly a fearsome Pokemon. There is only one Charizard that I could think of that we can all agree is not only the most popular, but the reason Charizard as a whole is so well known and beloved by all. Ash's Charizard evolved from Charmeleon in episode 46 of the original series, titled Attack on the Prehistoric Pokemon. The group finds themselves at Grandpa Canyon, where they run into Gary, who's participating in the fossil rush after a big discovery. Ash joins in an attempt to one-up Gary. but is soon disrupted by Team Rocket, who plans on blowing up the canyon to steal the fossils hidden underneath. Ash tries to stop them while Brock and Misty warn everyone else. They end up blowing up the mountain thanks to Pikachu using Thunder Shock, accidentally detonating the dynamite. Ash and Pikachu alongside Team Rocket fall in the crater and are trapped by a cave-in. They find themselves surrounded by many prehistoric Pokemon like Kabutops and Amistar, who all proceed to attack the group. Ash sends out Charmeleon to help, but he refuses, allowing them to get chased around. Soon afterwards, the attacking fossil Pokemon ran deeper into the cave, only for an Aerodactyl to come swooping in, knocking over Charmeleon and angering him. Aerodactyl proceeds to grab Ash, with Pikachu and Charmeleon climbing on its back. They fly out of the cave through an opening made by Brock's Geodude, shaking off the two Pokemon. Aerodactyl lands on a cliff, and with Ash still in its clutches, taunting Charmeleon, the Aerodactyl causes him to become so angry that he evolves into Charizard, just so he could battle the Aerodactyl on equal terms. Before they had the chance, Misty finds Jigglypuff and has it sing, knocking out everyone and causing Aerodactyl to release Ash and fall back into the crevice it came from. Charizard, who has covered its ears, flies up and catches Ash before falling asleep as soon as he lands. Charizard has always had an issue with Ash throughout their journey. Even as a Charmeleon, he would never listen to Ash's command, nor show any respect for Ash. This, however, all begins to change. In episode 105, Charizard Shills, the group encounters a ship captain named Tad, who recognizes Ash from the gym battle against Rudy. He challenges Ash to a Pokemon battle, which Ash agrees to. Tad uses Poliwrath, while Ash chooses Pikachu. Though, despite having the advantage, Pikachu is quickly defeated, so Ash sends out Charizard, who proceeds to burn him with a flamethrower. Tad calls out Charizard's behavior and informs Ash that he will never make it to the Orange League with a disobedient Pokemon. During the battle, Ash tries to command Charizard as best as he can, but Charizard refuses to listen to him. Through an exchange of flamethrowers and water guns between the two, Poliwrath is victorious, freezing Charizard with a powerful Ice Beam. Ash then asks for a rematch, stating that he can learn to control Charizard, and leaves in defeat. That night, Ash begins to tend to Charizard's wounds by building a fire and rubbing him to soothe the pain. Charizard wakes up and begins to thrash around. He attempts to blast Ash with a flamethrower, but quickly faints. Misty covers Charizard with a blanket and begins to help Ash rub his back, while Tracy leaves to get more firewood. Beginning to warm up, Charizard wakes up, and his tail starts to brighten again. Overhearing Ash admit that he isn't the best trainer, but he is doing the best that he can and wants to get better, and how he hopes he and Charizard can learn to work together. Hearing this, Charizard starts looking back on his time with Ash, and taking what he said to heart. In the morning, Charizard wakes up with a group fully recovered. However, Team Rocket strikes, and they trap Pikachu inside a giant drill machine. Tad notices the dust and joins the group. Team Rocket quickly tries to make their escape digging a tunnel. Ash begins pursuing them, but is quickly joined by Charizard, who flies beside him and has Ash ride on his back. The two quickly catch up, and Charizard is able to grab a hold of the machine, preventing it from escaping. Charizard crushes the machine and bites on the container holding Pikachu, freeing him. Meowth then proceeds to press a button which launches blades at Ash and his Pokemon. Charizard is able to dodge them, however it causes Ash and Pikachu to launch off his back and pass out. Seeing Ash in this state sets Charizard into a fit, causing his tail to grow much bigger and hotter, and swirling fire starts to form in his mouth. Waking up to the scene, Ash checks his Pokedex, which informs him that Charizard has learned Dragon Rage. The attack destroys Team Rocket's machine and sends them blasting off once again. With Charizard now under control, as promised, Tad challenges Ash to a rematch, which he accepts. During the fight, we see the noticeable change in Charizard's behavior, and now he listens to Ash's commands without hesitation. It is a short but intense battle, ending with Charizard and Ash as the victors. Tad and Ash shake hands after a well-fought battle and part ways. Before setting off, Ash bumps into Charizard while he's scratching his leg. Full of fury, Charizard starts spewing flamethrowers, causing the kids to flee. Ash's friends tell him not to get Charizard angry, but he knows he can handle it. So, unfortunately, there is currently no ways of obtaining a Charizard without evolving it from Charmeleon at level 36, except from obtaining it through trade aside from the Gigantamax raid battles found in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Please feel free to check out our previous two videos about Charmander and Charmeleon. If you wish to obtain one for yourself, however, it is prominently used in Generation games based in Kanto, such as Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue and Yellow, as well as Generation 3's Fire Red and Leaf Green, or Generation 6 X and Y, after you battle battle Professor Sycamore, where you are rewarded with one of the first Kanto starters as your first Mega Evolution Pokemon. As for Pokemon Go, Charizard can be found in mountainous regions and has a much higher spawn rate during sunny, clear, and windy weather. Otherwise, you can keep an eye out for raids or the Gigantamax raids as well. You can also evolve it from Charmeleon using 100 Charmander candies. In spite of its appearance, Charizard is a fire/flying Pokemon. Its typing allows it to resist attacks from Steel, Fire, and Fighting by half, while also receiving only a quarter damage from Bug and Grass attacks. However, this means Water and Electric moves deal double the damage, and the Rock attacks will hit 4 times as hard. Mega Charizard, however, becomes a Fire and Dragon type if you evolve Charizard into Mega X. It takes double the damage of Dragon, Ground, and Rock type attacks. This means it is also able to resist Steel, Bug, and Electric attacks, only doing half the damage, while Fire and Grass attacks will only deal 1/4 of the damage. Charizard has one common ability called Blaze, and one hidden ability known as Solar Power. While its Mega Evolution gains a different ability depending on the form, Mega X has the ability Tough Claw, and Mega Charizard Y has Drought. Blaze is an ability that boosts the user's attack and special attack by 50% when they are at 1/3 of their base health, if you're using a Fire type move. Solar Power increases the special attack of a user by 1.5 times during harsh sunlight. However, the user also loses 1/8 of his health for every turn harsh sunlight is active, a somewhat very dangerous ability if used against a faster Pokemon. However, when paired with 50% damage increases to fire attacks that Sunny Day gives, it can make almost any fire type move very dangerous regardless of typing, depending on its power. Tough Claws is an ability introduced in Gen 6, Mega Charizard being one of the first Pokemon to have it. The ability boosts the power of a Pokemon's moves by 30% if they make physical contact with the opponent. This applies to all physical attack, but also Grass Knot and Infestation. While they are special attacking moves, Grass Knot's damage is determined by the physical weight of a Pokemon, so the ability is applied to it. For Infestation, when a Pokemon is infested by this attack, they are being physically held in the field and unable to be swapped out. Therefore, the ability works alongside it. Drought is an ability that summons a harsh sunlight as soon as the Pokemon enters the field. In Gen 6 and onward, the sunlight only lasts 5 turns, but in previous generations it will remain until the battle is over, or if weather is changed by another Pokemon. At the start of the battle, if both starting Pokemon have weather changing abilities, the slowest Pokemon's ability is prioritized. At level 1, Charizard starts off with 534 base stat points, 78 HP, 84 attack, 78 defense, 109 special attack, 85 special defense, 100 speed. At level 50 with proper IVs, EVs, and natures, its max stats can be 185 HP, 149 attack, 143 defense, 177 special attack, 150 special defense, 167 speed. And at level 100 it has 360 HP, 293 attack, 280 defense, 348 special attack, 295 special defense, 328 speed. Charizard is a very useful Pokemon competitively. With a varied move pool and decently high attack and speed stats, Charizard can be built as a destructive attacker. The build we'll cover involves a popular strategy used for Pokemon capable of learning Dragon Dance, a stat boosting move which increases the user's attack and speed by 1 stage per use. If you want to use this strategy, then you'll need to find the technical machine with Dragon Dance and use it on Charizard. The goal is to use Dragon Dance at least twice, which should give Charizard enough boost to outspeed most Pokemon, and to sweep your opponent's team with 1 hit. The second move it should have is Flare Blitz, the highest powerful physical attack and a fire type move. With a base power of 120, this move should delete most Pokemon without even using Dragon Dance, except those with high defense or resistance to fire type attacks. It also has a 10% chance of burning any Pokemon hit. The downside of the attack, however, is that it has a recoil that will reduce the user's health by 33% after every use, and it will thaw an opponent if frozen. Move number 3 should be none other than Earthquake, a high power ground type move which is used to counter most rock and electric type Pokemon that you encounter, unless they are part of the flying types like Emolga or Aerodactyl, if the opponent holds an air balloon or the ability Levitate. The final move that I would recommend should either be Roost or Thunder Punch. Roost is a flying type move that restores half of the user's health. This is handy if you need to heal Charizard if you used Flare Blitz too often, or if you've taken a hit and need health back. Thunder Punch is a decently powered electric attack with a 10% chance of paralyzing the opponent, which allows Charizard to counter water and flying type, giving it a full defense against its weaknesses. For the ability, it should have Blaze, for that extra boost in damage as your HP drops. The held item should be a set of heavy duty boosts, which makes hazard placed on the holder's side of a field ineffective. Its nature should be Jolly, so that has the bonus speed and make sure to max out its EVs in attack and speed. Now, for the TCG cards, we'll go over our personal picks for our favorite top 3 current Charizards on the market. At number 1, we picked Shining Charizard from the Neo Destiny set, which currently has a market value of $6,502.49. At number 2, we picked Charizard Star Delta Species from the Dragon Frontier set, which currently has a market value of $996.56. At number 3, our selection is Charizard EX from Fire Red and Leaf Green set, which currently has a market value of $831.25. Finally, I'd like to thank all the listed sites that were used to find all the information given in this video. A lot of effort was put into them, and if there's anything you want to know that wasn't mentioned in the video, whether it's general information, competitive strategies, or anything else you would need, I'll put a link down in the description and recommend you paying them a visit. Thanks for everyone who made it through this video. Please like and subscribe, as we will attempt to go through every single Pokemon in the Pokedex, and before you know it, we'll be discussing one of your favorite Pokemon. Until then, this is Dex Prime, signing off.